What's up, Wellness Junkies? It's the girl with the business brain and yoga body, Sabrina Zealous, welcoming you to Yoga Socialite. This is the place where asana meets aesthetic, so we're here for the good vibes, the cute fits, and the real talk. Let's get into it. What's up, Wellness Junkies, and welcome back to the Yoga Socialite pod. Today, we are talking about word alchemy and how the words we speak transform our thoughts. And we're going to talk about great speakers like Robbins, like Joyce, Meyer, and what they have to say about it, as well as just my personal experiences from the power of your words. Words are energy, okay? They are things that you're tapping into to speak your truth. You know, I hate that saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's bull. Beep. I'm gonna edit it myself out. That's complete BS because words do hurt and they have power. And if you've listened to my podcast before, back when it was Wealthy Moves, I talked about this a bit when it came to affirmations and why the lucky girl affirmations were trending and why it was actually very successful for people to say those lucky girl affirmations and believe in them. And we're going to go even deeper into why affirmations and speaking your truth and how your words are very powerful. It's all word alchemy today. I will be using my handy dandy iPad, which my nail polish kind of matches today, just unexpectedly. Didn't plan that. And you know how I like to do things short, sweet, and to the point, so we're gonna hop right in. Bear with me today because yes, I have had a matcha, and honestly, I might stop in and get a coffee for the afternoon instead of doing a double matcha. I taught the hot class this morning, the hot power vinyasa. I always have to clarify, the hot vinyasa class this morning at 8:30. But I usually get everywhere I'm going like 20 minutes early, so I got there early. And for me to be sociable by 8:30, I had to get up at like, I don't know, 6-ish. I'm a morning person. People always think because I don't want to talk to a lot of people in the morning that I'm not a morning person. I am a morning person. I naturally wake up probably at 6:30 in the morning, just my natural body clock. Like I don't sleep in. I'm not good at sleeping in. My sleeping in is me waking up, doing some stuff, and then going to take a nap at like 9 o'clock, like 9 a.m. So I am a morning person, but I'm also the kind of morning person that likes their mornings to themselves. I like to take that time to like gather my thoughts, to spend time with myself, to do my prayers, my meditations. A lot of times I'll do like a slow flow or feel what's going on in my body and work out. And it's just like my time to like refuel myself because working at a yoga studio is a lot of energy export out. From teaching the classes to managing the teachers and the students. And then I know every single student by name. I think I've mentioned this before, I really do. Because I want to make it personable and I want them to know that they are seen and heard at our studio. So managing all of that and remembering everyone's name, it's a lot of energy export out. So my mornings are like my time to fuel myself, to pour into my cup so that I don't have an empty cup by the end of the day. So long story short, bear with me today. I have had a matcha, but I've been up really early and I taught a damn good class today. And I'm so humble. No, I taught a really good class today. I've been doing some fun things in my personal practice. I think it's really important as a teacher to also continue to practice for yourself. And also, I think it's important for all students to have a home practice. I'm a vinyasa girl by heart. And it's very important, I think, to have a home practice. So I subscribe personally to Aloe Moves. And I've been doing some really fun sequences on there. And then when you practice as a teacher, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but when you practice as a teacher, it makes your teaching better because you're learning from other teachers. You're learning and you're moving your body in such a way that you can start to translate that into the classroom. So my long story short is that have a home practice. Now speaking, and stay with me, I'm sorry, I have a little sniffle too. Speaking of the power of our words, you know how I like to do things? I like to break things into tangible pieces. So we're going to start off
words matter. That's our first little point, is why do our words matter? Just like I mentioned in practicing, taking this back to your home practice, why your home practice matters, how you can feel that into your body. That's part of the reason why your words matter, because it feeds back into your body. See what I did there? I wrapped it all together. So the science behind your words, because we all know that I am a scientist. I should have worn my glasses for that part. The science behind your words. Now, I am mindfulness certified, and I did the science-based mindfulness certification because I love science and I love the study of our brains and like how everything coordinates together. So your brain has something called the RAS, Reticular Activating System. And what that does is that it filters information so that you can focus and helps you tell it what it needs to focus on, what it needs to prioritize. That's what the RAS system does. And just making this plain Jane, keeping this tangible to everyone, not making this a science project, I want to bring up, again, we're going to talk about great speakers, Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer is one of my favorite ministers. My mom used to listen, or she still does, but my mom started listening to Joyce Meyer, and she listened to her as I was a kid. And it's so funny because now I listen to Joyce Meyer as an adult, so it's gone full circle. And it also just shows you how impactful a powerful speaker can be and how impactful our words can be, because she is still blessing people for however many years now that she's been doing this, since I was a little girl up until me being an adult. So Joyce says, you can't have a positive life with a negative mind. She also says, where the mind goes, the man follows. And that's why it's important to tap into that RAS system and tap into what you're saying and the importance of your words. Because if you're constantly speaking negative things over your life, I'll never get this, I always mess up, why is this always happening to me? Your RAS system is going to show you evidence to support those beliefs. Now, we talked about this a bit in our podcast, Manifestation or Delulu, and that is why this is kind of a branch off into that, because I got so many questions, so many follow-ups over that podcast, and I kept talking about like the power of your words, and we should probably do a podcast about that, and this is it coming full circle. So the power of your words are so very important because, again, it taps into that RAS system, and it'll start to show you things that you associate with being in that space. So if you're saying things like, I'm going to have a bad day. I hate Mondays. I know it's going to be a bad day. Now, I'm not a fan of Mondays. I'm not a Monday person. I am a morning person, but I don't speak negatively over my Mondays. Even today, like I knew I was going to have, today's a double for me. So I taught this morning the 8:30 class. I have a little break right now, which I'm using to record this pod. And then I'm going back to the studio to work the front desk and manage until close tonight. So that is a long freaking day. I have like a good 4 hours to myself, and some of that was also spent like being beneficial and helping out my partner today too. My little honey, helping him with some stuff he had to get done today too. So that is a lot going on. Now I could have said, oh my God, today's gonna be so stressful. I have so much crap going on. I don't have any time for myself. It wasn't happening like that. I decided to speak positively over today. I'm going to teach a freaking amazing class. I'm going to wake up early enough to where I have some time for myself, but then I also can translate that to me being sociable when it's time to go and talk to everyone for class. I'm going to have enough time to give myself a matcha. I'm going to listen to some jams, and I'm going to jam out in the car so that when I get there, like everything's ready to go. And I'm still speaking that into positivity, because after the class, I could have said, oh, I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm tired, and now I have to go home and record this pod. No, I shifted what I was going to say it, and I said, okay, I'm so excited I get to record the pod today. One of my best pods is on the day that I was super freaking busy, and I recorded the pod the day that it comes out, and it was one of the most watched and one of the best podcasts we had. So I'm going to use that same type of energy for this pod. So the way you say things is so vital. From Joyce Meyer's perspective, and I want to always give credit where credit's due, she says that Seeds you plant in your life, words are seeds that you plant in your life, So if you plant seeds of doubt, fear, negativity, you reap what you sow. So you're going to sow those same things. And if you speak faith, confidence, hope, positivity into your life, then that's what you reap. That's how you manifest. That's how you call in your greatest good. So words are containers for power. And that's why this podcast is all about your word alchemy. You have to choose your words wisely because they do carry a lot of power. And as I mentioned, I used myself as an example. I had the opportunity today to make this a complaining day and to speak negatively. And there's been times that I've done that. Even within this year, I can think of a time where I had a lot of stuff going on and I went down the negativity rabbit hole and this could happen and this could happen. And it's all this what if, it's not living in the present moment. It's always something that either could possibly happen, which what if something positive happened from this woulda, shoulda, coulda. But you can allow yourself to get into that negative rut and go down the rabbit hole from it, or you can shift your perspective, cultivate the opposite, and speak positivity in your life. It's hard to do in the moment, especially if you're going through something, a big trial to say, or a big situation where it's difficult for you to see where to navigate from. And that's when I say, shh, quiet, hush your mouth. Name that song. Name that song in the caption. Did I even do a good rendition of that song? Am I going to regret having that in the pod? I don't know. That's my little Missy Elliott call out right there. Sometimes it's good to get quiet because your words matter. And if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. I think that's where that phrase comes from. So moving right along. I've already mentioned this a little bit. My most listened to podcast last year when I was doing the pod was the Lucky Girl affirmations and why they work. And people love affirmations or they don't trust affirmations. You've got two kind of groups of people that love affirmations or people that don't trust affirmations. I love affirmations. I talked about this in the Manifestation into Lulu pod. I love an affirmation because it just reiterates what I am manifesting. It's speaking it into existence. It's calling it into myself because, again, your words have power. So the science behind affirmations, because I love to bring it to the truth, the real talk, the scientifically proven moments. I was going to say like exhibitions or something, but that's not the word that's going to coordinate here. Affirmations are more than trendy mantras. They are brain training tools. When you repeatedly say positive statements, you're creating neural pathways to strengthen those beliefs. And going back to people like Joyce, Meyer, Mel Robbins, they've all said that combined with faith is even more powerful. When you believe, if the promises you speak, you're partnering with something bigger than yourself, it gives it even more power. Okay? There is a viral video of mine on Instagram, and I think I'm going to put it here right now, and I'm going to let you listen to it. I think it's like 20 seconds. I'm going to let you listen to it.
What if everything works out? Can you imagine if you went through life thinking, what if it works out for me?
Now that's from Mel Robbins, if you don't recognize the voice. And that went viral on Instagram, and it went viral because of what she's saying. What if you expect the best? What if something just amazing happens to you? What if that is the expectation we set for ourselves? When you create that with the affirmation and expect the best and have that higher calling, that higher connection, that direct line to the divine, who knows what could happen? What an amazing way to look at things. Not look at things that, who knows what it could happen. Like look at things like, oh my gosh, what amazing things are going to happen for me. And I've already talked about this in a practical manner by combining that with your vision board. Again, you can do an OG vision board, which is my preference, getting out the board, cutting out the pictures, doing the whole thing. You can also do the Pinterest version. I just like to have an OG board. Now, if you're gonna get the Pinterest version or a Canva version, make sure to get that printed out again and put that somewhere you can see daily. Maybe on the background of your phone, or you can make it the screensaver on your iPad or on your MacBook or whatever. I'm just like giving Apple shout outs, whatever devices you're using. I used to not be an Apple person, so it's funny that I'm like so gung-ho on Apple. I want to leave Apple so badly because I want a flip phone so bad, y'all. I want that little flip phone. I want to be able to close the phone and go. And because I grew up back in the day where Clueless was legit in the movie, and it's still super legit if you ask me. Everyone should be watching Clueless, okay? And everyone had flip phones, and I remember back in 1996, 1997, everyone having flip phones. And I didn't have one yet because I was like a little kid. But when I got to high school and we had flip phones before we all started getting the little Nokias, we had those flip phones and we had the sidekicks, and like I miss that. Like I want a flip phone so bad. Went off on a tangent, sorry. I'm not gonna apologize for these tangents because they keep it real, okay? I wanna give you just a couple tips that kind of correlate with that. So my tips that I've learned from Mel Robbins, from Joyce Meyer, is one, to think before you speak. Because you have to consider whether your words are necessary, whether they're kind, and ask yourself, am I planting a seed of hope or am I planting a seed of discouragement? And not only just the words that you say to yourself, but the words that you're gonna speak to others. One of my videos made a really big impact here on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might be listening to this on another podcast network, Spotify or Apple or whatever. But if you're listening to this on YouTube, I did a short on why I felt like people needed to stop putting comments in the comment section. Everything relates to you. I used my example, my finger really did get cut off because people are asking me that too. Yes, my finger got cut off. It's not a joke. My finger got cut off, but that doesn't mean that someone else that has a scar or had an incident where they were skiing needs my advice on it. Why is it so necessary for us to plant that seed? Am I planting a seed of encouragement, or am I planting a seed just to hear myself talk? Ask yourself that. Speak what you want to see, not what you fear. Instead of focusing on what's wrong or what you're afraid of, declare the outcome you want. Speak it into existence. Call it into yourself. I have lived my whole life like this. I have been blessed to have a mother who could manifest and call in things and just taught me the power of my words. She taught me that from a biblical standpoint. I mean, if you read Proverbs, you can see the power of your words. All of Proverbs are like talking about the power of the words and using the words to call into God, to ask him for help in different situations. Same thing with a lot of the Psalms. And Psalms also is us telling God, like, these are my problems, listen up, But from a biblical standpoint, that's what I grew up with. My mom always taught me that your words have power. To speak kindly to yourself, to speak kindly to others, to call in what you want, speak it into existence. I am one of the #1 podcasters in America. I'm calling it in, I'm speaking into existence. And then I give myself tangible steps to get there, okay? And my third little tip is combine words with gratitude. This is something I learned a lot from my mother as well as Joyce Meyer, but emphasizing that gratitude amplifies the power of your words. Start your affirmations with thankfulness. I am grateful for the opportunities that are coming my way. Gratitude shifts your whole perspective. Like if you're feeling really crappy and down about yourself, do something for someone else. Make someone else's day. Pay for the person behind you at Starbucks. Take a little thing of kindness and spread it on. Did you know kindness is contagious? Another scientifically proven thing, kindness is contagious. Gratitude is contagious. So usually if you do something, you'd have to be like a little off not to pass it on. But usually if you do something for someone else, like holding the door open, the person behind you will see that and they'll hold the door open for the next person, and so on and so on. That's the kind of contagion we need these days. So moving right along, I want to give you some practical tips. I already gave you a few on harnessing the power of your words. And some of this is going to bring into Mel Robbins, besides the little Mel Robbins clip I gave you. But you want to flip your negative scripts. And I've talked about this a little bit before, but you want to pay attention to those sneaky negative phrases that kind of just slip up. Oh, I'm so tired of this job. I am so tired of this. Blah, 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 blah. You might even use that for a person. But why don't you shift that, cultivate the opposite. We're taught that in yoga from my yoga people. Cultivate the opposite. I'm excited to find a role that fulfills me. I'm excited to find a person that fulfills me, that makes my light shine brighter. You know, a tip from Mel Robbins is that you add the word yet to negative thoughts. I don't know how to do this yet, but I'm going to figure it out, kind of thing. You add that yet to the negative thought, so it shifts your brain from just saying that negative thought to knowing that there is a hope, there's a possibility, there is something that's going to change that negativity. I also, again, mentioned, like, I love to use vision boards to do this. Seeing it out on paper, I'm such a visual person, to be able to shift that, to know what areas of my life do I want to see shift and change. And then just being mindful of your words in relationships. You know, we have the power of our words is very impactful. You have the power to build someone up. You have the power to tear someone down, and that goes for you. You have the power to build yourself up, or you have the power to take yourself down. Your mind is such a powerful tool. That is why the words that you speak, going back to that RAS system, that's why the words that we speak are so vital. You have the power to set the tone, set the intention of your day. What are you going to set it for today? What are you going to change in the way that you're speaking to yourself or the way that you speak to others? Because if you're going to speak to yourself negatively, you're going to speak to others negatively as well. Mic drop. Take this off. A few final thoughts, because again, I like to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. Words are your power. Words have power, They're seeds, they're blueprints, they're commands to your brain. Whether it's through affirmations or through gratitude or simply pausing before you speak, try taking 3 breaths before you react. Intention of your words can absolutely transform your life. I've seen it transform my life all throughout my years. Again, I grew up with a mother that really instilled this into us, but I also have seen it just over this last year. There was a point through this last year where things were really hard. And actually, things were not that hard, but the way that I was processing information was really hard. I was processing information so hard on myself. Many of you know I'm a recovering perfectionist. I still, have perfectionism things. I mean, clearly I wear monotone outfits every day. Like every top has a matching bottom. And people are like, oh my God, I just love that she's always so monochromatic. It's to keep my brain comfortable because I like to look a certain way. I'm keeping it honest. I'm being very vulnerable right now. I like to look a certain way. I like my outfits to be presented a certain way. Keeping things monochromatic just helps my brain to process that. And that's one less thing I have to worry about. Perfectionism is something that I have always found challenging for myself because I like to see the best in myself and others, and I'm very hard on myself. And there was a time throughout this year that I was so hard on myself, from the things that I was doing at work or any criticism or even constructive criticism that I may have received while doing my job, taking so much of that to heart instead of just processing it and then allowing it to pass, or taking it and speaking negatively upon that constructive criticism and bringing that into my energy in a way that was not positive, not adding that, like Mel Robbins would say, that yet, or what if everything works out for my greatest good? And I let myself go down a rabbit hole. Now, I didn't let it go for an extended period of time. It was probably like a 3 or 4 day period. It was also probably during a time where I needed to rest, where I was working open to close, or I was subbing a whole bunch of classes like I am today, like where I subbed in the morning and then I'm the one that closes at night, that kind of thing. And then I took a moment to step back and address my concerns and say, like, girl, this is not how we talk to ourselves. This is not who we are. Let's release that, write it out, maybe even write it physically out, hit delete on your iPad if you're gonna do it digital, or grab a pen and paper, write it out, rip it up, throw it in the trash, get that physical release of that stuff. So my challenge for you, and I want you to drop this in the comments if you are watching this, or even if you're on Spotify. Spotify allows you to comment, which is really cool. I love Spotify. I want you to create 3 affirmations that align with your goals, and not necessarily your goals for next year. I'm still debating if I'm going to do my vision board party. I will keep y'all posted for next week's episode. That's when I'll tell you if I'm going to do it. But just your goals. Maybe if it's just your goals for today. My goal for today, I have 3 goals for today. I want to send an email. I want to draft an email, send an email for marketing for my owner's restaurant, because I do their social media and emails. I want to create an email for the studio today. It doesn't necessarily have to go out, but I want to at least get it out of my brain and onto the screen. And then my 3rd thing to do today is to make a phone call to the person that runs our app and make sure that our app is up to date and everything like that. Those are my 3 goals for today. Those are my 3 goals for today. So your goals that I want you to list down below doesn't need to be like something like you want to accomplish in 10 years. It's just a goal for today. Let's just make it specific for today. Drop in the comments what your 3 goals are for today. Then I want you to write them down or type them out in the notes section of your phone. And then I want you to say it out loud in a positive way. And then see how your mind creates opportunities for you to achieve those goals. That's it. Short, sweet, and to the point, about 30 minutes. Our pods have been running about 20 to 30 minutes. I like the 20-minute mark, but I've had so much like scientific stuff that I want to share with y'all, and I think that's very important. So I think 30 minutes is good. 30 minutes, I mean, hello, if you're in LA, my friends that are like in true SoCal, like this just helped you with half your traffic, okay? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you for dealing with my allergies as I was about to sneeze in the middle of this outro. I so appreciate each of you, and I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day.